Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is a prayer switching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. And we've now been joined by guest Habib Gajo, a policy analyst, for further details on most of the headlines we've just read out to you. You're welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you.
To the studio.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And please be reminded our phone lines are open for you to call in and make your contributions known. Once again, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
How are you doing today?
Alhamdulillah, we thank God, despite all the hitches on Naira redesign. But today is a Women Day.
Oh, yeah.
I wish to congratulate you and congratulate the Nigerian women. The women are our mothers. They gave birth to us, so we must celebrate them.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Because you just mentioned that today's International Women's Day, there's something I saw in one of the headlines of the newspaper, I think on Daily Trust. It says 8th month pregnant Abuja woman gang raped. It's so disheartening.
So sad, so disheartening. You know, and when I read the story, it's pathetic. Those who perpetrated this crime, all of them are young men. Age 21, 22, 24, 25. And, you know, there is something in these young people of nowadays. They don't, let me put it as they don't have a parental upbringing. Because how can you see a pregnant woman in her own condition and
Gang rape
her? 8 of you. You know, and I want to appeal to the FCT police command. They should put more emphasis on those area council. This thing happened in Gwagwalada, and Gwagwalada is a hotspot of all these crimes. Gwagwalada, Abaji, Aba, Kwali, those areas, Kuje, is not safe. True. It's not safe for a young woman. And in that locality, it's women that are going to farm. Those young people, they don't go to farm. They don't work, they don't do anything. So please, they should put more, they should tighten the security there and make sure that people are safe, more especially the women and children.
Right. I think we'll also direct more of that to our second guest to know what they think. Now let's touch on most of the stories that are hitting the polity at the moment. We've been talking about, like you said, besides the Naira issue and all of that you said when you came in. And there's this headline here that also says, we did direct banks to disburse old notes. That's according to CBN. Because we heard that they started disbursing old notes. And I think I read a story where one of the bank officials said CBN gave them directives. Another said we got a call from above to actually start disbursing old Naira notes. Now, some of the citizens and traders are not taking the money from the banks. And CBN now is saying we did not instruct you to disburse the old notes. Where do we stand?
We stand nowhere. You know, most of these government policies, more especially the economic policies, all of them somersaulted. And this is the last one. And we didn't expect it to also somersault. But unfortunately, it has somersaulted. Because now we have different directives.
One from the Supreme Court, one from the CBN.
Yes.
And probably even one from governors.
You see, I keep saying it. When the governors that took the president to court or the presidency to court, they did in error.
Really?
Yes. They're supposed to sue the governor of Central Bank and the Central Bank of Nigeria. Because it's a matter, Supreme Court, the judiciary, the judiciary as arm of government is to interpret the law. And the law says the CBN and the governor of the CBN has the powers on monetary policies. They have the power to change, to redesign, to all the monetary policies. The only powers that the president have is approval.
Yes, so
if it gets approval from the president, so is it not saying for them to just go straight instead of going through the governor, because you can easily direct your suit through the CBN governor, but the president still has a final say. And of course, let's take it back to when the Supreme Court came out to say the old Naira note remains in legal tender, and then the next day after, the president came out to say no, just the 200 Naira note remains in legal tender. So could it be said that this is the reason why these people actually directed straight to the president and the federal government?
That is not the reason.
Okay.
Because the president made it very clear. But let me start from what you said. CBN is an independent institution. Independent body. You understand?
Yes.
The executive are policy makers. You understand?
Very well.
And the judiciary has no power to interfere in a policy of the executive. This is a constitutional matter. We are talking about the constitution. You understand?
Very well.
So CBN has its act. You understand? Then let the Supreme Court interpret the CBN Act and direct the CBN to extend the date. You understand?
Yeah.
Whether it's tempering justice with mercy, because all the CBN Act, the powers vested on the CBN governor and the CBN as an institution to do that. So definitely they have to go back to the main issue to solve this problem for Nigerians, because we will not accept that we have our own hard-earned money and somebody will destroy our head. You know, most of us all Nigerians did transfer that declined and was debited. You understand?
Yes.
And you take your naira and they will not, the old naira, they will not collect. Somebody went to bank yesterday, they paid him with old naira 500 naira, 300,000. He went to market, they rejected it. He went to the same bank and said, redeposit my money inside my bank. They said, you have to go to CBN and generate code. What kind of inhuman in this? You know, if government is making a policy, let me go back to the executive now. If you want to make a policy, please make a policy that has human face.
Okay.
Human face, a policy of human face is the one that will touch the life of ordinary Nigerians. You understand? The business people don't have that problem. You see, like I had so many people who are saying that it's only Sahad that is collecting old naira note. Maybe they have the generated code, or they decided to also pity Nigerians, and you know. But all of them, you have to use POS. If you go to H Medics, you go to so many restaurants, you have to pay with POS.
Okay, there was something you said when we said it. You said almost all of the policies have been somersaulting.
Yes.
Why do you think so? Especially because this one ought to have been a very beautiful one. So why is it that everything is turning the opposite way?
Because there is incoherent in the government. The government are fighting themselves. The party and the government are fighting themselves. So everybody is doing on his own.
Okay, one would have thought that after the presidential election, because of course we've seen Governor El-Rufai of Kaduna State come out to say, oh, if so-so person wins, then the money will become a legal tender. And now that said person has won. Of course, that's Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the presidential elect right now. So what do you think would actually change? Because everybody was expecting things would get better after the presidential elections. And I've always been one to say we will not talk about the problems without preferring solutions. So what do you think actually, what solutions do you think would have happened? What do you think the CBN would have done better? Or is the problem from the judiciary now, or the CBN, or the presidency?
Do you know why Nigerians clamor for change of government? Do you know the reason why NSAS happened? Do you know why the Obi movement became a successful one? It's because these people use mere statement. What El-Rufai said, he did not mention the type of policy they will bring that will counter the redesign of Naira. Are you going to sack the CBN governor? He has a tenure. Are you going, and if you want to remove him, you require 2/3 majority in the National Assembly to remove him, which APC don't have the 2/3 majority in the National Assembly. They have simple majority, but not 2/3 majority. So that is why I call it a mere statement. And if you go back, are they going to amend the CBN Act? It's also require 2/3 majority. You understand?
Very well.
And anything that, any interference from the executive to CBN, definitely it has broken, it will break the independence of the CBN, like the way they did in INEC. That's what we are suffering today.
Okay.
You understand? The interference is you appoint INEC chairman, you appoint resident commissioners, you appoint zonal commissioners, regional commissioners, you appoint everybody, and you are the one that is paying them, and they have to dance to your tune. People go and voted, and not the result is different from what they have voted, right from the polling unit to the collation center is all mess.
Okay, now speaking of apologies, because you mentioned the appointment of all of these people, are you trying to say that if they were not appointed positions, probably elected positions, things would have turned out better? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, because you cannot elect electoral officers. You understand? The nomination must come through merit. Like in some countries, they look your track record. You worked in as a lawyer or as somebody or a judge. Some countries appoint judges.
Okay.
Appoint judges, and people believe in judges are always fair because of their reputation. Okay. When you have a retired justice heading electoral empire, you know you cannot have this kind of issues that.
Sorry to cut you short. Is it possible that the INEC will be independent of political or things in the political scene? Is it possible to appoint someone that will be independent of that said identity? Say, oh, we're appointing someone, but the person is not partisan. Of course, we know that they are supposedly non-partisan. But is it possible in Nigeria of now to actually appoint anybody in any office that is independent of a political party?
Let me give you a short example. When President Eradua won election, he said, I know my election was flawed.
Flawed, yes.
You understand?
Yes.
But accept me, I will reform the electoral body. He was given the opportunity. He set up a committee headed by former Justice of Nigeria, Uwais. Jega was a member in that committee. After Umaru Musa Yar'Adua died before the outcome of the committee. And they handed over to President Jonathan. Jonathan called them and said, okay, now that you have brought your report, please can you help me, give me an INEC chairman? People suggested Uwais. Uwais said no. I have reached my retirement age, I will not. But Jega is an academician, and he's been participating in election, observing and so on and so forth worldwide, and he is a member of one of the international organizations. So Jega was accepted and Jega was appointed. You understand?
Yes.
What we saw, Jega did the right thing. Now, Professor Mahmoud was a university lecturer. He was appointed TED fund here and there. He was appointed by the government in various places before he was appointed INEC chairman. And when he was appointed INEC chairman, is I don't know which language I will use. A vice chancellor that will suspend or expel a student for exam malpractice and will come and conduct or read a malpractice election, a rigged election.
Well,
so where are we?
Allegedly, because court is going to rule today. Yeah.
No, I'm not talking of this election. The previous elections. So now Nigerians doesn't even have confidence of these vice chancellors that are returning officers. We don't have confidence on them. So we need an independent people who are technocrat, who are well educated on the laws of the election and the Electoral Act.
I think the integrity too matters a lot. Not
and we don't want the integrity is matters. When you remove those Senate committee on INEC, you remove Senate committee on House committee on INEC, and you now give the president the power to nominate, not to appoint, to nominate. You understand? Subject to the scrutiny or acceptance of the Judicial Council. Then it will be independent. And their fund should be from first line charge, not being appropriated or given by the presidency. That's the beginning of the rigging.
All right, because you've been talking about rigging, there's also this headline on the Daily Trust that talked about over 200 cyber attacks blocked during February 25th elections. That's coming from Galaxy Backbone. But before I proceed, let's quickly take this call. The caller has been on the line for a while. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the press. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This is Mr. Oko from Edo State.
All right, please join the conversation.
So I just want to appreciate KAFTAN program.
Thank you, sir.
This topic, and I thank the analyst. The major problem in Nigeria is even though the person wherever he has worked and he has that integrity, and you are appointing into an office, the pressure that the person always undergo, that is the major thing, because most of them are ready to take your life if you do not agree with them. That is the problem we have in Nigeria. This issue of forcing somebody to go against his will, that is what Nigeria must fight. Because if we do not fight it in our electoral system, it will continue. No matter the person you bring, whether you bring the person from abroad, they are going to force the person. And when it is between life and death, the person will be forced to succumb with them. With this present election that happened, you will see all over the places where people were forced to agree with them and they will manipulate. And where they do not agree, because they have the number, the people have the number there, they will destroy all the materials. So we have to look at our electoral system and ensure that the people that are in position are well protected.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Oh, that's a very good submission.
Yeah.
Sir, I know you're going to touch on that. I just wanted to land on the question I was also going to ask, then you can answer them together. I said over 200 attacks, cyber attacks, were blocked during the February 25th elections. And you know, most of the political parties were complaining about the process of transmission. Now they were expecting that the result should have been uploaded directly on the website, and it wasn't there, which is IREF. It was, most persons didn't get it, and that was the problem, that most political parties were complaining about the process of transmission. And now they're coming out to say they had over 200 cyber attacks that they had to keep blocking. So could it be that this is one of the reasons why people couldn't access the results on IREF portal?
But political parties and people assess the result on the result of the National Assembly, House of Rep and Senate in the server, because it was posted direct from the polling unit. So what happened to presidential? Definitely these people are Professor Mahmoud.
So you don't think that the cyber attacks could be any relevance in this situation?
I don't believe, because he assured Nigerians, he assured Nigerians 100%. He was in the House Committee, House of Representatives Committee. He assured them 100%, and he said he has all what it takes. He went to Senate, he said so. He addressed Nigerians, he said so. He went to Chatham House, he said, he mentioned this, that they are going to transmit results, and the server is well protected. They are the only one that have the code. You understand? So for him to now let me like you, Buba Galadima used to check, go and fact check. This man said he is going to conduct free, fair, transparent and credible election 148 times. Festus Okoye said it more than 180 times, that they are going to, the viewers, they have confidence in viewers, and they are going to transmit result from polling unit.
You know,
so what happened?
I heard.
You heard him. You read about what he said. All times without numbers. Since 2002, he was telling us this.
Oh, okay.
You understand? And if you look at the seasonal election that was happened, or the rerun election that happened in Oshun, Ondo, Edo, and so on, Ikiti, we see the transparency. We see the uploading of the result.
But the question is, would the beavers be able to handle thousands and millions of people using it at the same time?
Because you cannot obviously compare. Yes,
you see, that is why they broke some polling unit that has a large number. Maybe from 500 above, they will break it. 700 above, they will break it. There is extra polling unit. You understand? I suppose my polling unit was 030 in Malam Aminu Kano, but I got a text message from INEC that my polling unit location is along Malam Aminu Kano, Form 1.
Okay.
And the number of the polling unit is 154. I went and I checked my polling unit, I got my polling unit, and I voted. And let me tell you what will surprise you. The viewers authenticate me in less than 8 seconds.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Immediately I put my finger, and it's approved. All my data came out and it approved. I went and voted. So why what are they saying about the Vivas? He told us that he has a backup Vivas, they have generators, they have backup batteries. These Vivas will not fail, and even if they fail, they have a backup. So today, what Mahmoud Yakubu is telling us, and March 11 gubernatorial is coming. And that's where the problem
okay,
is.
Let me cut in from the gubernatorial election you've mentioned. For Daily Trust newspaper, it reads, governors in last-minute push rule voters with incentives. Sanwo-Olu releases impounded vehicles free of charge. Boni Inuwa splash 1 billion naira on teachers' business groups. Of course, people have been talking over time that when it comes to election period, that is when all our most of the politicians come out. You will see some go as far as going to schools to actually eat food with people. But then I'd like to lay emphasis on this. Should this be the cause?
Yes.
I mean, this is something that is supposed to be a civil right. It shouldn't be something that we wait till election period to get.
You see, it's so pathetic when a citizen or an eligible voter sells his right. Cheap. You sell your right of mudu of gari or indomie, spaghetti or impounded car or something for 4 years. You know, our democracy is not progressing. As long as we have vote buying and manipulation of result, we are not going anywhere. Those who are manipulating the result, they are also collecting money. I read so many returning officers and even INEC commissioners that were sacked.
Yes. Sokoto, for example.
Yeah, Sokoto, for example. So they are selling us and selling our right. You understand? Is so pathetic. In 2002, I met Wadanas, late Wadanas. He said the Nigerians' problem will start from selling of vote at 5 naira, 20 naira.
All right.
Let Abubakar Rini said so, that how much a politician will give you, he cannot give you, at that time, he said he cannot give you more than 100 naira. And you sell your right for 4 years at 100 naira.
100 naira.
All right, I believe that there'll be a difference for these gubernatorial elections, and that's where we would have to round up this segment. Mr. Habib Gajo, thank you for being our guest today.
Thank you so much for being our guest.
Thanks for having me.